A criminal squad involved in the elimination of its enemies was dismantled during the 26 Copper investigation in the summer of 2015. However, the trial continues intensely as several witnesses are executed one after the other just weeks before their scheduled appearance before a judge in June 2016. Regardless of whether it is a mere coincidence, it is certain that this case has the potential to be truly linked to the enigmatic man Ridwan TAGHI, who is considered the most dangerous individual in the Netherlands. It is crucial to understand that the first person to expose Ridwan was Ibrahim, also known as the Butcher. This man of Moroccan origin, slightly bald, was totally terrified when he went to the interrogation room of the Dutch National Police Unit in 2015, a few months before dismantlement of the 26 Copper Group. It was then that he revealed being targeted by a deadly squad which now pursues him, especially in Belgium, on Ridwan's orders. According to the Butcher's testimony, the previous unknown 26 Copper Group is entirely directed by Ridwan, whom the police did not consider a known figure in the milieu. The Butcher's testimony reveals that Ridwan had a habit of getting rid of people who hinder him. Indeed, according to the Butcher, Ridwan started the hashish trafficking from Morocco to the Netherlands through Spain using fast boats. According to the Butcher's statements, in 2013, Ridwan allegedly ordered the assassination of his own brother-in-law, named Tariq, in Spain. The incident revolved around drug smuggling from Morocco, traditionally involving hashish, but the new generation was now transporting much more lucrative coke blocks. The smugglers working for Ridwan, including Tariq, felt betrayed when they discovered the shipment was coke instead of hashish. They had been paid around €150 per kilo for hashish transport, while the coke rate was several thousand euros per kilo. Realizing the significant risk they were facing, the team of smugglers categorically refused to return the cocaine shipment. This purportedly led Ridwan to order Tariq's elimination. According to Spanish police, a man named Tariq was indeed killed on October 31, 2013 in Fuengirola, and he was allegedly linked to Ridwan's family. However, Ridwan has never been convicted for this mission, even though Tariq was known in the criminal world for involvement in drug cargo thefts. The Butcher also mentions the name of Saeed Razouki as Ridwan's right-hand man in his drug trafficking empire, which sees several thousand kilograms of coke passing through each month. Saeed's role in the Netherlands was primarily focused on distribution, strategically distributing the merchandise to different cities in the country. An essential detail is that the Butcher highlights Ridwan's lifestyle, spending half of his time in the Netherlands and the other half in Dubai. Decrypted messages indicate that Ridwan's family had already moved to Dubai by September 2015, linked to a message mentioning that his children are attending school there. As a consequence, not surprisingly, the Butcher's family was confronted by several troubling individuals. After insulting him and calling him a dog, they clearly expressed that they were searching for him since his last statements to the authorities.
Afterwards, I was called 60 times by my family. I was shocked by it.
In the end, since the Butcher was untraceable, his confidant Ranko was eliminated in June 2016, which likely had a significant impact on the Butcher himself. 3 weeks later, during his new appearance before the judge, the man seemed to have decided to invoke his right to remain silent, frequently using this right throughout the questioning. However, at the end of the interrogation, he uttered a remarkable sentence.
I would like to say something. I am considering it, perhaps in 2 or 3 months. I will provide something to your honour, the investigating judge, in the presence of the prosecution. It is indirectly related to Copa case.
However, he disappears without a trace for many years. The authorities suggest that this could be due to serious threats against his family. As for Ridwan, he has not been charged in the 26 Copper investigation due to a lack of concrete evidence. However, there is another man who walks in Ridwan's footsteps, the crime blogger Martin Koch, who seriously troubles him. It is important to remember that Ridwan, who has a strong influence in the Utrecht criminal underworld, joins forces with Rico the Chilean and his lieutenant Noffel operating in Amsterdam. They form a so-called super trio that instills fear in the criminal world and eliminates anyone who stands in their way. They claim to have formed a real family with the goal of eliminating their common enemies. However, this alliance does not last long, as Noffel is arrested on April 7, 2016 in Ireland. According to the justice system, Rico and Ridwan have since escalated their efforts to neutralize their rivals. Just 10 days later, one of the men on their hit list, Samir, is shot dead in front of his 7-year-old daughter as they were preparing to attend a Quran class. On the same day, a flurry of messages ensues, some of which mention Martin, a blogger who runs the Vlinders blog, where he does not hesitate to publish the latest news about the criminal world.
This Vlinders must sleep, sir.
Look, this motherfucker is a direct candidate, because he's really going too far. But we need to know how to do it right.
This Vlinders with pictures must die.
Martin Koch is a prominent figure in the media and on the internet. On his website, Vlinders he openly expresses his opinions about the criminal world and is often the first to disclose information from underworld sources. Despite the threats against him and being on an elimination list, he doesn't succumb to fear and continues to publish his bold statements. According to prosecutors, Ridwan was particularly furious because of Vlinders articles that directly linked him to the 26 Copper investigation, while he was trying to avoid being implicated as a suspect in that case. Martin fearlessly shared photographs highlighting TAGHI's associates involved, as well as a list of targets related to 26 Copper. After Noffel's arrest, Ridwan allegedly established communications with another lieutenant operating in Amsterdam, responsible for managing operations in that specific area.
This Vlinders just take care of a driver. This guy must sleep. He put more photos of and the one who provided the photos must sleep too. Take care of the driver properly. Amsterdam is your area.
Yeah, sir. I'm asking several people who could have supplied the photo. However, those who provided it will never tell the truth, so I'm conducting the investigation. Yes, the driver. I will check that quickly, sir. But do they already know where the Vlinders lives and so on?
It's quite simple. This dog is going away. It has to be clear to these journalists not to put any more photos and information.
Ridwan made it explicitly clear that they need to get rid of Martin. That's why he's already planning to find a driver willing to carry out this mission in Amsterdam. At the same time, he is actively seeking to identify the traitor who is sending photos of his team to Martin, who then publishes them on his website. On July 2nd, 2016, one of the first attempts to eliminate Martin takes place with an explosive device placed under his car. That day, Martin goes to the restaurant Klein Kalfe, where he regularly has lunch. After parking his car, an Opel Corsa, in the parking lot in front of the restaurant's terrace, a passerby notices a grey box under the vehicle. The police were immediately alerted.
Ze doen het best maar, ze halen de bommen maar weg. Wij gaan nog even lekker suipen en lekker naar de hoeren snoeren. Dan gaan wij, Vlinders gaat gewoon door. Vlinders crime, het is de beste site, jongen. Daar gebeurt het allemaal, jongen.
It seems that this attempt was the work of an amateur group, as the bomb was not properly placed under the car, making its presence easily detectable. However, the police noted that the explosive used had a power equivalent to at least 40 hand grenades.
If that explosive had detonated that night, it is very likely that there would have been numerous deaths and serious injuries.
A reconstruction was even carried out to demonstrate the seriousness of the situation. Following the failure of this attempt, the prosecution assumes that Ridwan may have ordered a new attack involving a remotely controlled explosive device. However, the mission becomes more complicated as Martin is now housed in different locations, all paid for by the justice system to ensure his safety. It is essential to emphasise that before Noffel's arrest in Dublin, a message was transmitted to the alleged Ridwan through the secure communication channel PGP, indicating that they were looking for a competent person in the manufacture of explosives.
We need this man who makes these bombs. It's exactly what we need. This detonation is excellent. We absolutely need to find a manufacturer of this kind. Then it would be really perfect. But I think Destiny hasn't put him in our hands yet. Otherwise, we would have already finished.
In the investigation regarding the car bomb, Martin Koch had declared that he knew where the threat against him originated.
I heard that it comes from the circle of 26 Copper. I recently wrote some articles about 26 Copper. Noffel is part of it, with Ridwan and Rico. Noffel deals with the murders and such. Ridwan is the man with the money. Together with Rico, he took over Frankie Pannencook's position. I heard in the criminal world that it must come from that direction, and that it is related to the articles I write.
Frank Pannencook was a notorious crime boss, primarily active in Spain, and it was there that he eventually met his end in 2013. Persistent rumours suggested that the Little, meaning Ridwan and his group, might have been involved in this event, but no concrete evidence was ever presented. Martin goes even further on his blog Vlinderscrime. On September the 12th and 13th, he publishes that the Dutch underworld is terrorised by a fearsome trio that holds a monopoly on cocaine in the Netherlands. He specifies that the mastermind behind the Copper Group is none other than Ridwan, even going so far as to publish a photo of him as a teenager. He recounts that Ridwan is the head of the Moroccan mafia, and a bounty of 10 million has been placed on his head by rivals, but nobody dares to utter his name for fear of ending up 6 feet under. Martin obtains information from a source based in Dubai who apparently provides information from someone deeply involved in the underworld and TAGHI's inner circle. This is quite frightening, but the information is presumed to be reliable. At this point, it is understandable that no one dares to openly speak about Ridwan, especially since he is not listed as a suspect in the Copper case or other related cases. As a result, an immediate lawsuit was filed against Martin to compel him to remove the photos of Ridwan and Noffel, as the information published on Vlinderscrime is considered a disproportionate violation of their privacy and is perceived as defamatory. Martin lost the lawsuit and was forced to remove the photos, including full names, from his website. However, it appears that he truly crossed the line by freely publishing pictures of the trio, particularly of Ridwan, which sealed his fate. The police continued to warn him, suggesting that it might be more reasonable to tone down his activity on the website. Still, Martin responds that he will not be silenced and is not afraid of anyone. As a result, on the Mokro Mafia side, a new mission is set in motion, with a key player who changes the game in the Netherlands. It is Nabil B, who will soon become a crucial key witness against Ridwan TAGHI's organisation. At this point, Nabil, who is involved in odd jobs, quickly gathers information about a specific license plate for Saeed Razouki. He even mocks the fact that the plate belongs to an elderly man who seems to have no direct connection with the milieu. However, as will be discovered later, this man is actually Martin's father. It turns out that the VW Polo with the mentioned license plate is used by Martin himself. Martin proves to have a good business sense as well. During this time, the Vlinders-Crime website attracts many visitors and, more importantly, advertisers. Martin, who knew how to sell his products and services, entered into a partnership with a company specializing in selling PGP phones online, the MPC, as evidenced by various photos. On December the 8th, Martin goes to the Citizen M Hotel in Amsterdam for a meeting with a Scottish representative from MPC, known as Scotty, to discuss potential contracts. Meanwhile, another individual goes to the hotel and positions himself at the entrance of the bar, offering a good view of the duo in discussion. The man anticipates the end of the meeting and decides to leave before Martin and Scotty. Suddenly outside, as the two men walk, the stranger runs towards them, holding a gun and pointing it towards Martin's neck. The shooter eventually lowers his weapon for unclear reasons and departs, leaving a sense of confusion. One theory suggests that the gun malfunctioned. Regardless, Martin doesn't seem to notice anything and continues on his way. Later in the evening, Martin and Scotty go to Boccaccio, a sex club where Martin is a regular. After spending some time there, they leave the establishment late at night. As Martin gets into his father's VW Polo car, a man emerges from the bushes and executes him before fleeing the scene. During this time, Scotty calmly crosses the parking lot, busy sending messages with his phone. It may seem that Scotty was used as a mere decoy in the trap set for Martin. After accomplishing this mission, Nabil claims to be shocked when he discovers online information confirming that Martin was eliminated in the very car he had conducted research on. In any case, Martin's case is closely linked to the extensive Marengo trial, which involves TAGHI's organisation and, above all, its mastermind Ridwan. During the same period, a notable event occurred in connection with the blacklist established by Ridwan's group. An individual named Abdel Karim, also known as Klein Abs, found himself on this list and immediately took the necessary measures to get out of it. Nabil started to follow Klein Abs and took pictures of him to prepare for his execution. This is a classic surveillance method used to guide the shooters in the future mission. According to Nabil, a conflict erupted over approximately 200 kilograms of hashish, as over 100,000 euros had been stolen and had to be repaid immediately to TAGHI. Klein Abs reportedly refused to pay the debt, leading to tensions.
It went wrong with TAGHI. His ego was hurt.
Despite 3 attempts to eliminate Klein Abs, he remained silent when faced with the police, knowing that speaking up would only worsen the situation. Eventually, aware that Ridwan does not take such issues lightly, several criminals allegedly gathered money in a form of crowdfunding to give to TAGHI in order to remove Klein Abs from the hit list. This initiative proved successful. and Ridwan reportedly expressed satisfaction according to Nabil's statements. At the turn of 2017, things accelerated surprisingly within Ridwan's team. Mistakes were made that would radically change everything in the underworld, giving a deeper meaning to the famous saying, "Whoever talks, he goes."